I'm fairly certain of that, but I'll clarify it.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the next part of the session this afternoon, and as I said again, we'll have plenty of opportunity for questions. So the next part of this afternoon's session, we're looking at the whole area of active citizenship, engagement and participation, and we're joined by Breeda O'Sullivan and Anne-Marie Fuller, who are going to take this part of the afternoon session. So I'm just going to welcome Breeda up to the podium here, and Breeda.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Breed, for the introduction. As Breed said, my name is Breeda O'Sullivan, and I'm currently working in the Public Participation Network section, the Community Department. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what the Kerry Public Participation Network is and the role of it, and then Anne-Marie will go through her role as member of the Secretariat and also on the SBC and a rep on the LCDC. So, what is the PPN? The Public Participation Network is an independent representative body, and they were set up as part of the Local Government Act 2014. So the PPN acts as the main official link between the community groups and the local authority. PPNs, there's three different pillars within the PPN. You have social inclusion, community and voluntary, and the environmental. So social inclusion are organisations whose activities focus on social inclusion, social justice and or equality. And examples of these include organisations which aim to support people with disability, refugees, asylum seekers, older people, women, young people and those living in poverty. For the environmental section then, you have organisations whose primary activities are environmental protection and or environmental sustainability. And then the third one is community and voluntary, and that's any organisation whose primary activities are other than those not listed above. So the purpose of the PPN, the primary purpose of the PPN is to enable the PPN member groups to input into and have their voices heard within the formal decision-making structures of the local authority. So I think like PPNs act as a mechanism to facilitate the two-way flow of information between the local authority and their groups to influence policy development and the delivery of services to the wider community. The democracy is strengthened by allowing diverse views and interests to be considered as part of the decision-making process of local government. And the result is more transparent, better informed and improved inclusive decisions. The work of Kerry PPN then is four main aims in the PPN is participation in local policy, its networking, capacity building and information. So your participation in local policy making, Kerry PPN representation on boards and committees. So they facilitate the participation and representation of communities in a fair, equitable and transparent manner through the environmental, social inclusion, community and voluntary sectors on decision-making bodies. And like Padraig had said earlier, each of the SPCs within Kerry County Council, we have a Kerry PPN rep sitting on each of those SPCs, and Anne-Marie, who will be talking shortly, sits on the environmental SPC. We also have Kerry PPN reps on the Kerry Age Friendly, which again is very important, working with the local authority, the Joint Policing Committee, and we also have a Kerry PPN rep sitting on each of the 5 municipal districts within Kerry County Council. Another aim of the Kerry PPN, and very important, is the networking. We have plenary meetings, 2 big ones every year, and at these meetings it gets all the community registration groups to meet with each other, and they outline then the work for the PPN for the following year. They also, Kerry PPN would hold consultation workshops and policy development. We're also involved in the Kerry Community Awards, which is held every year. And then we also hold training and capacity building workshops. Again, this would be identified by asking our groups who are registered with the PPN what their main aims and what their needs were for training, and we would carry that out on behalf of them. And we also participate and engage in the National PPN Conference on behalf of also our members. Another role of the PPN is the capacity building. So to strengthen the capacity of communities and of the environmental, social inclusion community and voluntary groups to contribute positively to the community in which they reside. So for training, workshops, seminars based on members' expressed and predicted needs. So for example, as I said, leadership programs, community planning, strategic planning, good governance, financial planning, fundraising strategy, and grant information. All this training is always provided by the PPN free of cost when you are registered with the PPN as a community group under each of the 3 different pillars. Another part of the PPN's work is providing information which is on our Facebook page, on our website, which we are currently working on and launching a new website very shortly, kerryppn.ie. And we also distribute a weekly newsletter outlining again information on all the different community groups. So to share with the wider Kerry PPN network. And you can sign up to the mailing email list by emailing ppn@kerrycoco.ie. So the Kerry PPN structure then, how it all works, you have member groups per pillar and per municipal district. Currently in Kerry PPN we have over 1,081 community groups registered with the PPN, and there is a need to re-register at least every 5 years to keep the network details up to date, or shortly after your PPN contact person changes. So as I had mentioned earlier, the plenary. So the member groups put the input into the work of the PPN. The plenary is the decision-making body of each PPN. It is made up of the representatives of all the registered groups of the PPN, and its role is to direct the operation of the PPN, setting overall PPN policy and processes. Membership meetings are a forum for member groups to network and to hear about matters of interest to them. And also at the plenary, it decides priorities for the coming year. Your Kerry PPN structure. So at the main of the PPN, you have the Secretariat, who are the administrative bodies of the PPN and carry out administrative duties on behalf of all the PPN members. Then you have the worker, which is myself and my colleague Andrea, who again organise meetings for the Secretariat and carry out all the duties as requested. Then you have community and voluntary, the environmental groups and social inclusion groups. And then out of that you have the linkage groups as well, which we have recently launched the disability linkage group and the environmental linkage group, which then feeds into the LCDCs, the SPCs, the local groups, boards, committees, again feeding into council and working with the council. So as I had mentioned, you have the linkage group, the environmental linkage group, and Anne-Marie will be giving information on that shortly in regards to work that the environmental group have currently done in regards to the climate action plan. And as I said, there's a newly formed disability linkage group as well. Registered member groups have an opportunity to make observations, raise questions, or put forward recommendations on behalf of their groups to the boards where PPNs are reps. They forward their query via email to ppn@kerrycoco.ie, outlining the name of your group and the municipal district your group is from. Your query will then be forwarded to the relevant rep, who will raise the matter at the next scheduled meeting. We also have Kerry PPN rep on the Joint Policing Committee. Padraig already mentioned that as well, and registered members have an opportunity again to make observations and raise questions on matters relating to crime, antisocial behaviour, with a view to improving the quality of life for all within the county. Again, send your queries to ppn@kerrycoco.ie, outlining the name of your group. So the Secretariat, each Kerry County PPN has a Secretariat, and we're looking in Kerry, we have currently 10 voluntary members of on the Kerry PPN Secretariat. The Secretariat, the main functions of it is to facilitate the implementation of the decisions of the members, ensure the proper functioning of the PPN, coordinate activities of the PPN, and communicate regularly with all PPN members, and in this process disseminate information concerning all PPN activities as widely as possible. then I had said as well the development officer and the support officer, and we together organise meetings and events for members, secretariats and other stakeholders, and promote the PPN and encourage membership. So lastly, I'd like just to finish on the benefits of membership. Access to information on decisions and proposals being made in their county, and the ability to comment on and input into them along with other PPN member organisations. You have the opportunity to become part of a linkage group for a board or committee of interest and be able to have their views heard and contribute to local policy. An opportunity to network with and learn from other organisations in the county who may be involved in similar types of projects. Access to relevant information on funding and grants coming through the local authority. The opportunity to advertise their activities via the PPN newsletter, website, emails and Facebook. And you have networking and sharing ideas. So again, if you have any queries or you know of any community groups that may not be registered currently with the PPN, just get in touch with us at ppn@kerrycoco.ie. Thank you.